Wow. Thank you everyone for joining us at Moorlands Camp and welcome to our Visitors Day. This is truly a day of celebration as we have children back at the camp and we're excited to share and reflect on the impact that you made happen in 2021. It's so wonderful to see kids back on the shores of Kewagama Lake. I am John Shelley, retiring board president of Moorlands Kids. Your moderator is Andrea, standing by at 416-466-9987, extension 304, to assist you with any technical difficulties you have participating in this meeting. We trust that our presentation will be very informative. If you have a question that remains unanswered at the end of the meeting, please email us at info@moorlands.ca and we will follow up with you personally in the days to come. We're back. At Moorlands Kids, we know that children and youth living with financial challenges face barriers that other kids don't. And we believe that every child has the right to succeed. Moorlands' mission is to bridge the opportunity gap through skill building experiences, empowering kids to overcome the barriers to success. We empower kids to transform their lives. As we work together, you, our stakeholders, staff and board, we achieve more. Soon, you will meet an impressive young man who can speak to you directly about the impact of camp and the opportunities he received because you believed in us and helped us keep going.
Hello, I'm your board vice president and secretary, Scott Crowley. Our president, Danny Timmons, is sorry that he couldn't be here today, but he wanted me to let you know how excited he is about the opportunity to lead the incredible organization called Moorlands Kids. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you today the Moorlands Kids board, Laura Bose, Ray Drost, Aaron Thandroy, Dr. Mal Herzog, Alison Larac, Simone Lumsden, and Anita Stefan. This is your board of directors for 2022, and we're looking forward to doing great things together in support of Toronto children and youth. It's now my pleasure to bring you the results of the Moorlands Kids audited financial statements for 2021 and to announce that Moorlands Kids continues its designation as a top 100 charity in Canada by outside reviewing body Charity Intelligence for the second consecutive year. Being named a top 100 charity in Canada means we were chosen over 86,000 other charities operating in Canada in 2021. And as an organization, we are committed to being good stewards of the resources in kind and in dollars that you give to us. The 2020 plan originally stated program costs of $1.93 million and all children would be attending programs in person. However, it's no surprise to anyone here that we needed to adjust our plan once COVID struck. It may surprise you to know that we ended the year having met our financial requirements and at the same time did more to meet the urgent needs of kids and families despite COVID-19. As a responsible and agile organization, the Finance Committee and Board of Moorlands Kids approved a plan to reduce our organizational spend by over $450,000. While not sustainable over the long term, these extraordinary efforts afforded us the strategic response it took to deliver you a balanced year. It also allowed us to launch capital improvements campaign, a stake in the ground on our much needed plan to modernize the camp and install washrooms in cabins launching in 2023. Our rebuild work is only starting. We're seeking partners for this capital build, and I invite you to get in touch to learn more about the many intentional ways this prepares us for the future. A significant part of our carry forward was in one-time COVID relief funds from the government funds, designated to projects supporting infrastructure that makes us stronger and more ready to support our kids. Projects like updating our access to computers and phones that enable us to work remotely or from camp seamlessly. Investing in technology security so that families can register online and donors can have a better donation experience while ensuring the highest levels of encryption of your private information. Investing in staff training to support emergent needs around mental health and resiliency in our kids, as well as new partnerships to facilitate community outreach as we rebuild community supports. In addition, we took this time to make robust plans for our camp modernization around updating staff quarters to do double duty as weather shelters in extreme weather events, replacing the boat and the climbing wall, which had reached their end of their lifespan, putting additions on all cabins to add basic plumbing, washing facilities, and showers, which allows us to keep operating should we need to go back to camper cohorts and bubbles, and increases our ability to share camp with family groups and others in the off months. It was a truly amazing year. Overall, in 2021, albeit a challenging year of uncertainty, we successfully helped 1,034 kids and 744 families with operating revenue of $1,933,000. Looking forward, several pandemic-related reports have clearly indicated that children have fallen behind in mental health and positive development. And to meet our commitment in 2022, we need to raise $2.1 million. And only with your help and commitment will Moorlands kids continue to reach more children. Together, we can empower them to climb out of financial insecurity and into opportunity. Now, I'd like to introduce David Borsuk, our camp director, will share about the camp community this summer. Over to you, David.
Hello, everyone. My name is David Borsuk, or as I'm known here, Johnsy, and I am the camp director of Moorlands Camp. Last summer, I stood here and I told you that in summer 2022, we would have kids back on this island. As you can see behind me, we have returned to camp. We have children on this island right now experiencing camp because of your support. The excitement at the camp to return here was absolutely amazing. And the excitement at the bus to get on that bus and be able to come to camp was something I will always value. Let me tell you about a parent that I met at the bus site this year. They've been sending kids to camp since before COVID, during COVID when we offered our virtual programs, and now their camper is here experiencing camp. He was so excited to see me. As I came out of my car to help at the bus site, he ran right up to me and asked me how I was doing, told me he was concerned with how everyone at camp was doing, with everything that was going on. And he personally thanked me and everyone who is a part of our community for doing the hard work that was necessary to get kids back to camp. He was excited, his kids were excited, and he knew this wasn't easy. He didn't just feel that he was sending his children to a camp. He felt a part of the Moorlands community. That camp community is truly different because it's not just any community, but one that is transformational. One of my favorite experiences as camp director is I get to see that transformation happen firsthand. I've gotten to see it happen in our speaker today, who I would like to introduce. He's been coming to camp as a camper since 2015, came during our virtual programs, will be returning to camp next week as a part of our high school programs, and participated in our City Vital program online. I would now like to introduce to you our speaker, Adrian.
Hello everyone, my name is Adrian Kostash, and it's an honor to be sharing with you my personal experience with Moorlands Kids. I grew up in the city, and it wasn't until I went to Moorlands where I first was exposed to the real nature, the real outdoor experience, a real community and learn about the real me. Moorlands has given me the opportunities that has helped me come out of my shell, learn leadership skills, and make new friends, and while making unforgettable memories. Before Moorlands, I was that shy kid that needed an extra push to participate in activities, and now, here I am, making this speech to all of you. For as long as I can remember, my parents have been trying to give me the outdoor experience. Translation, get rid of me. As a Toronto City boy, I didn't have much access to the nature, so my parents signed me up for Moorlands as soon as they learned about it. I remember when they first told me that I'd be going to Moorlands, all I could hear was that I would be going to this faraway place for a whole week away from them. I was scared like never before, thinking my parents are trying to ship me away, but they told me to rest assured that I was in good hands. And that I have nothing to worry about. Shortly after, they started priming me at every meal about manners and how to act civilized for camp. From no elbows on the table to using my indoor voice, anything and everything about table etiquette. Just to find out later I'd be banging my hands on the table and screaming da 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 da, or hey, twice a day. Moorlands is truly a unique experience that you just can't get anywhere else. Ever since the very first moments, I felt welcomed and had a sense of community. When I first got on the bus to camp, I kept to myself and looked out the window, since I thought I wouldn't make any friends. Moments later, the bus staff started teaching us camp cheers, which really helped me open up and adjust to camp. One of my favorite things about Moorlands is the friendly rivalry between the boys' end and the girls' end, and how chants were used to battle each other. I found it interesting how effective creative cheers were when defeating the opposing side. It's not every day you get to yell at the dining room table to battle your siblings and have fun while doing it. Aside from chants, Moorlands has cleverly made cleanliness of the cabins and bathrooms into a competition. I remember those early mornings when we would wake up and become madmen, trying to clean anything and everything, from the windows to the walls. We all worked as a team and pulled ourselves together to work towards a common goal. Moorlands has taught me the importance of teamwork and how to effectively work together and have fun while doing so. I had the greatest time on the island, but then, sadly, the pandemic hit. Camp was cancelled and I thought that would be the end of it. My last chance to be a camper, and then I had to become a staff member. But out of the blue, my mom asked me if I would like to join Camp Online. This surprised me, because I had other friends tell me that their camps were cancelled entirely. This truly made me realize how precious Moorlands Camp is. While other camps simply waited for restrictions to be lifted, Moorlands went above and beyond to help their community by reaching out to the campers when they needed it most. That's how special of a camp Moorlands is. Moorlands will always go above and beyond your expectations. Over these summers, Moorlands has changed me and my future. They have come alongside me and guided me to discover my career path, to become a children's social worker. Working with children has become my passion, and I hope to make a difference in my future communities. Without Moorlands, I would never have the opportunities to build the skills that I need to be where I am today. They helped me build social skills and leadership skills that you can't learn anywhere else, with the added bonus of having the time of your life. I hope I've shared with you how much Moorlands has truly helped me in every aspect of my life. Moorlands is truly a unique experience that you can't just get anywhere else. And I would like to give a special thanks to LT, John C. Fisher, and Bobby, and all the other Moorlands leaders that have affected me on my Moorlands journey. And thank you for giving all of the resources Moorlands needs to impact the youth and their communities. See you later!
Hi, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Linda Tilley, or as Adrian just called me, LT. And as the executive director, I have the great privilege of leading Moorlands Kids. Of course, none of that happens without the support of the board of directors and our strong staff team. I really hope you enjoyed hearing from Adrian as he shared how Moorlands Kids has supported his growth. At Morelands, we talk a lot about our programs and our experiences that we offer being transformational. I want to take us back to Adrian's first summer at Morelands. As John-C said, it was 2015. In fact, it was the very first session of that summer. And I have to be honest and say that with Adrian, there were some struggles. He was young, camp was new, and being away from home was new for him as well. Now, we invest a lot of time and put a lot of energy into training the staff to work effectively with kids, helping kids to problem solve and bounce back from adverse situations. Each leader, well, two leaders code together and have a cabin group to look after. So when the behavior or the challenges reach a certain level, staff can access more help. In 2015, I was the camp director. So in the case of Adrian, that meant me. I remember calling home to discuss things with his mom. She was very supportive. She really wanted him to stay and to make it. So we all talked together and we worked out a plan to get him through his time at camp. Now, we did have many, many conversations to ensure that he stayed on that plan. Obviously, as you heard today, he made it. And at the end of the camp session, he was lining up to get on the boat just behind me here so that he could go on the bus and he was ready to leave. But he came to me and he gave me something he had made. It was a little folded boat. In fact, it was this folded boat with his name on it from session 1. I've kept it on my bulletin board all these years. I think for him, this was a little offering of thank you and a little bit of I'm sorry from a youngster who was happy he'd worked through things and stayed the entire program. For me, this little boat meant hope. Something inside stirred him to try, to make amends and to be kind. To listen to him today and to know what an amazing influence he is in our high school program, well, that just moves me. It speaks to the strength of what is being provided to children and youth through our programs and ultimately showcases Adrian's strength. Being in a Morelands program always provides opportunity for growth, sharing with youth the habits and qualities, the personal leadership skills that gives them interpersonal tools will ultimately help them become more successful. And when you're working with youth, you know, it's all about timing. Think about yourself. When did things come together for you? Were you 15 or 21, or was it much later? For Adrian, it's been a process. And like most of us, it's a work in progress. But he has embraced the opportunities provided by Morelands and actually by you. And he has grown with that. He has made some life decisions and he shared those today. Interestingly, his career choice focuses on helping others. I wonder where that got its start. And more importantly, where it will go. Growth is such an individual thing. And the best case scenario is that someone comes alongside you, provides guidance and some direction, and often a gentle push. Obviously, Adrian made it through the week and he had came back year after year. I'm glad that you got to meet him today and hear about his Morelands journey of growth. From the younger Adrian that struggled when he showed up here to Morelands at Morelands Camp, to this confident young man who shared so openly today about his growth. I'd have to say that what we've witnessed in his life is transformational. I want to talk for a few minutes about another side of transformation. John Shelley, who spoke at the beginning of our time together today, his desire to help others brought him to Morelands Kids through our Christmas sharing program. This was a great outlet for John's sense of compassion and kindness. His 29-year plus commitment to Morelands started as a key Christmas sharing volunteer, encouraging and inspiring others to help. And as it came to a close in a formal way, it ended with John being the president of Morelands Kids Board of Directors. Something I know he never saw himself doing. And yet, for that time, he was exactly what we needed. During John's time on the board, we were named a top 100 charity in Canada. We doubled the number of kids we served. And John kept his hand on the rudder, moving us forward as we navigated the last 2 years of COVID. His example of resiliency and service leadership is honestly a living lesson to us all. We are grateful for his work, and he needs a break, although he is still on the fundraising committee. When I reflect on John's work with Moorlands, I'd say John's influence, it transformed us. Thank you so much, John.
Linda, thank you. And it's been an absolute pleasure being involved with you and your team, with the board. My 29 years with Christmas sharing and bringing things forward. But I think probably the most important thing that I leave with at this juncture is the children and how influential they have been on how we as people, as the stakeholders of Moorlands, that they have given us the joy that they have. At the beginning, we had the videos, and it was just a wow moment, a total wow moment, that those kids with their smiles and the joy of getting on the bus, being welcomed at the camp, and then with our after school programs and having to do the virtual programs for camp for the last 2 years, it's been truly a remarkable experience for myself. And I couldn't have done it without the support of the kids and also the board and yourself and your team, Linda. So thank you very much. It's 29 years and counting, and looking forward to the next 29. At this time, I'd like to pass over everything to Scott. And thank you, Scott.
Thanks, John. And most importantly, thanks, John, for your fantastic and invaluable contributions and leadership over the years. You're a truly amazing human being. And I mean that not only for myself and the board, I think, and everybody at Moorlands, and as well as the kids. So don't be a stranger. And regardless, I'm sure you'll remain connected to Moorlands in some way. And all the best. And thanks again. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
This past 2 years has been so challenging. And getting going this summer has been challenging as well. But here we are, as you can see. And me, I have hope. We would not have made it without your support. It inspires and empowers staff to carry out the important, significant work of Moorlands Kids. Thank you to you, our friends, who faithfully support the work of Moorlands Kids, helping kids to build on their strengths. Thank you to the board for consistently giving their time and sharing their expertise. And for the staff who grab the vision and on a daily basis give themselves to kids. I just want to express my heartfelt thank you to all of you for your continued support and joining us. It is so good to have kids back at the camp, being in a community that compels them to grow. And you know what? This is where we all want to be. Thank you so much for coming, for sharing with us today, giving us your time. And again, if you have any other questions, please feel free to email us at info@moorlands.ca. Thank you.